So this is pretty cool. This was unheard of before. I now have workspace for large pieces. Working on a costume for ScrapFest, which is next weekend. Okay, so this was my original brainstorming for my costume. But I don't know how to sew, and it would have cost a lot of money to get enough material to make this one, and I kind of ran out of time to go shopping for something like that. And then this one is sort of what I ended up doing, but it didn't work out as nice as this one might have been. Still trying to figure out how to do this with some, like a hoodie or something instead of a piece of fabric. And then I went to a whole different idea. Lucky rabbit's foot. It's lucky because the rabbit's still alive. But I kind of paid homage to this idea because Thatcher was with me there, and he had a lucky foot. So, and then my heart was set on this, but it didn't happen. And then I was thinking up some other stuff, and then again, my heart was set on that, and I was going to do a keychain on my head to be funny, and you know, to pretend that the star was a keychain. And then getting closer to what I actually ended up doing at the last minute because I ran out of time and everything as usual. And then, yeah, just trying to plan it out still. And then there, I'm probably going to use these in my art journal when I do a page, but I haven't done the page yet, so yeah, I don't think I'm going to be recording most of this, but we'll see. So I actually ended up recording a bunch of little clips, but I didn't record every attempt that I made. I right there, I'm trying to see if I could still eat and talk and move my head around if I had something like that on my head, and it was not very comfortable. Wasn't really working out very good, and I kept trying and trying, and I'll have a link in the description below this video to a video that I watched that inspired this particular series of ideas that I worked on and tried to do, and it did inspire what I ended up doing eventually. But anyway, so one of the major issues I was having with any of the ideas I was coming up with was that I couldn't. It would have been a nightmare to go to the toilet or, you know, move around and do stuff, like actually work on my projects and stuff, because you couldn't really sit in it if my whole body was covered in cardboard or something. Anyway, all the ideas I was coming up with were challenging, and as you'll see in this first bit here, I'm just having a hard time putting stuff together. And then eventually Franklin came up with a neat idea that ended up working well enough that I gave it a try, and then I I actually constructed it, but then I ended up not using it, and I tried again and stuff. But anyway, I went on and on trying to figure it out, and then I gave up for that night, and then I tried again another day, and so anyway, yeah, I don't remember exactly the dates on when I did these things and stuff, but anyway. But one of the other things, sorry about all the ums and ahs and stuff, but you know, that's me. Usually I edit all that out, but it would take me forever and stuff, so I'm probably not going to this time for most of them. Anyway, okay, so one of the other things that I didn't film myself trying is that I tried to safety pin together some beach towels in order to make myself the material to build the whole body star costume that my heart was set on. And anyway, I did not end up with the costume that I wanted, and I was a little bit disappointed, not gonna lie. But once I saw the reactions throughout the day while I was there at ScrapFest, the reactions were pretty well all positive, and I mean, they didn't know all the struggles I had gone through and what my original idea was and stuff. So yeah, people did like it, and I was joking around with one of the people that was passing along the floor plan and information booklet thing, and anyway, I told him I was hard to miss, and he was joking around with me and saying he liked it and stuff. So anyway, it worked out okay enough. Okay enough. Okay, so Franklin saved the day. So I was trying to get this and that and whatever, and it wasn't and stuff, and then, but Franklin came down and he came up with this. And it's perfect. It's exactly what I was trying to figure out. So now I just need to figure out where to attach it. So that was true, and you can see that I ended up with that, but then it was really hard to get it off, and it kept bumping into my shoulders, and so it would have been hard to maneuver. And as I was saying earlier, so yeah, making that slit there did help, but it was still difficult, and if I had to take that on and off all day, it would have been a problem. And I would have had to, because the further plan was to add ribbons to the bottom, and it would have been difficult to do stuff with. Now, then I came up with this method of getting a star by tracing around. Oh yeah, and then some weather happened, so I documented that too. But yeah, to get an actual nice star, I ended up using my tracer, and so I used a stencil that I have for and drew a small star with the stencil with Sharpie, and then I put my tracer over top of it, my projector thing, and then I projected that onto my piece of cardboard, and that gave me the bigger size star. And then I made a pile of stars, cardboard stars and stuff, and I attached some ribbons to them, and some of this ended up as table decor, and others ended up being part of my costume, which you'll see in a bit. I made, so made that headpiece and added stuff to it. She's been doing surprisingly well with all these danglies. She did bad at it a little bit, but she's been a good girl. And then she pinned me. I call this being kitty pinned. Anyway, eventually she let me up, and then I continued on working with my costume, figuring things out. My sister came up with a clever idea, but in the end, I wasn't able to position the stars in the right way so that it would be the Acadian flag like it is in this picture. Like, I couldn't put that on top of my head that way. So it ended up being this way, which is still sort of right, but not as good as it could have been. But anyway, as you can see me here putting that on my head. Now I had to do, and I'm wearing a wig. I had to do this every time I needed to go to the toilet. But otherwise, I was able to wear this all day on day one. And I did, and stuff. So there you go. And yeah, I had that talk balloon. It says, "I thank my lucky stars," in case you have trouble reading it, but I think you could see it pretty good. And then Franklin took some pictures of me ready to go. And yeah, some different angles on it. Okay, just arrived at ScrapFest 2018. I'm at a different table this time. So yeah, that was our table's title or name, and some of the decor they had put on. I can only show some of what I have for various reasons. Anyway, that was me in costume. That rainbow was made with pool noodles, and I thought that was a really cool idea, and it was very pretty. So this is my tag book that I was working on to enter into the mixed media contest. That was my ticket for the meal the next day that I was able to order. And that was after the parade, for the costume, we got the gift of the beautiful butterfly wood pieces and the cupcake. I don't know why that picture showed up twice, but anyway, kind of worked out okay because of the way I was talking about it. So I'll leave it like that. Yeah, just some. Okay, and this is day 2. I don't have a better picture of my get up there on day 2, but basically it was just a horseshoe necklace that I made out of cardboard, and it was bigger than my selfie allowed to show, and yeah, the 4-leaf or the clover head thingy, and then that's the card that I made and left for them, and that was the food that I was able to buy. That ticket from the Friday, the food came on Saturday at like 6:30-ish p.m. I will link my other video because my other video explains a lot more of what was happening and things. It's a long one though, so but yeah.